What's up? Welcome back. I built another ultimate survival house. Ultimate meaning it has all our survival needs, and this time it's an ocean edition style. It has a lot of awesome and unique features that we're going to run through. I'm going to show you them, how to build them, and we're going to break it down into 5 parts. And so let's just get to it. Feature number 1, setting. Ocean biome. The house is floating. Rather than stilts, I wanted to literally go with this floating style. So we're not that traditional stilts coming into the ground, but instead the house is literally buoyant. It's floating like a raft. And to make it look that way, we went with fireplaces. Fireplace trim that run all throughout the entire exterior of this build. This also enabled these barge-like structures because we have our main house right here, but we also have barges, basically like boats attached to a larger boat that serve a purpose. For us, it's wheat and our tree farm, both of which are attached by a dock-like bamboo bridge. Connect up our floating, buoyant ocean survival house. Make it functional. We're going to talk more about these farms shortly, but to wrap up the biome itself, look at this location we found. We got shipwreck to the left, we got shipwreck to the right, and we got the entire massive backdrop of the jungle. Now this is a setting I personally picked. I found it, immediately fell in love with it. But being that it's a floating structure, you of course could build it anywhere in this ocean. In fact, my next 2 favorite options were an ice spike biome or a guardian temple, both of which would be sweet, and you can integrate different, survival farms or aspects or details into the house itself. So someone's got to give it a try. However, if you want to build in this exact spot that I'm at, I'm going to have the seed and coordinates to this location in the description below. And also, by the way, anyone looking for a world download or schematics of this exact project, I have them available to download on Patreon. So that's also linked in the description. Anyways, onward. Let's get to the next feature, which is feature number 2, security. So our house is floating in the ocean, which means one very brutal reality. I see him right there. Your main enemy, danger, mob, rival, is going to be none other than the one and only zombie Trident sniper. One of, if not the most lethal mobs in the game. I mean, they get their name for it. Ouch. Ouch, bro, I have netherite lightning accuracy with the Trident, and they pack a punch. I've had haunting experiences with them in the past, so we gotta be safe. Safety measures are in place. Every dock entrance to our build going to be completely guarded. The cool little redstone detail. Daylight sensor trapdoors that lower at nighttime, meaning when it's daytime, we have those trapdoors available for us to go on our adventures, park our boat up, and be able to walk right on in. Nice and handy. However, once nighttime hits and those zombie Trident sniper spawn rates increase, we have the trapdoors lower. Honestly, I would say it might be a little excessive, but the zombie Trident snipers are no joke. And similar to villagers, zombies don't track or pathfind onto trapdoors when they're shut. It's in their actual coding in Minecraft. So when they're shut, in short, they won't be able to get up on them. And so if an army happens to, attack, it'll be all good. As long as you, snipers, stay away from the edges. Oh my gosh. No. Evil. But as you can see, even though he might snipe you right now, they can't log onto that trapdoor. And in the daytime, they like to stay at the bottom of the ocean. They need the darkness. We're clear. Try and get me, lads. Try and get me. Ha ha ha. Clear. We are secure. The rest of the house is secured by full fence posts or fence gates all throughout the entire exterior line, making it so mobs simply cannot get into the house. So as long as you sleep off the night to avoid those pesky phantoms, you're going to be all secure. Now, feature number 3, Trident maneuverability. Being that our house is in the middle of the ocean, it only makes sense to make a Riptide Trident as useful as possible. Not to mention that it's simply the greatest item in the entire game. But so, alongside the use of Tridents all and around the base, ocean exploring, everything we need to do, all throughout, there's also strategically planted Trident maneuverability pads planted in key locations on the base. It just gives us more optimization for the rest of our house as we move around to each zone, just like this. Woo! Bingo. Easy. Best item in the game. Simple landing pads using those, once again, beautiful copper blocks with some slabs underneath that give us just enough height that we can move around. I'm not gonna lie, that location might need to be repositioned because of the tree, but you get the point. Although I forget how beautiful you can just shoot right across. Different spots all throughout on this location and build in particular. I just have them, planted in just key spots. And I will mention, just as it is always for me, Feather Falling 4 on your boots is going to be your best friend. And I would say, honestly, you can't really have too many. Like, for example, if we plug another one right here. Build them however we want. Makes it easier just to move around. And we have a target to land in. Whoop. Like, oh, I want to get some wheat. Let me get over here. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it taking too long to walk around? Do we need another launch pad? Simple. Easy. Just like that, our flow just got even better, as all throughout. This is gonna be fun to move around your base, always, at all times. All right, on to my last two favorite features, even though that Trident is really hard to beat. We'll save my favorite for last, but you know, it's a close second. And funny enough, I'm standing on it. It's simply bamboo. Feature number 4, bamboo, and the rest of our 1.21 blocks. Fun fact, this project is the first time I've personally ever actually built with bamboo, and I love it, especially as an accent color. It serves as a really nice contrast color to dark woods and stones within the game, and so therefore for me, I use it as a block for highlight details within the house. The docks, arguably one of the most important features of this ocean house, because, well, it's in an ocean, so they're spread all throughout the entirety of this build. Next, bridges. Just as I mentioned it before, those bridges between our main house structure and our different separate barge areas, connected to our wheat farm and to our tree farm. Another crucial standout point, the stairs. Not only leading us to our second floor, our bedroom, but, you know, they're right in the front profile of the house. Right here as a roofing accent color. This is a hot one. Again, complementing those dark woods and stones. You'll have seen me use it quite a bit. It not only looks good from the exterior, from above, but also on the interior of our house, which ties into the next highlight, using them as accent details, especially trap doors, simply doors in general, slabs even, and I noticed it worked really well with scaffolding. Not to mention signs as well. I didn't use them quite as much, but they work out well. And finally, I have no trouble repeating it once again, that bamboo boat might be the best looking boat in the game. A lot of the primary other 1.21 blocks I use, I mentioned in the last Ultimate Survival base. These copper lamps are probably the best, I mean easily one of the best blocks added ever. You might quite literally see me use these in every single build forever, just ever. And of course, that's not to discredit one of my new favorites, this tough block. No, I have to say the pun. That boy on that interior design, I mean, ooh, it looks tough. There's some other 1.21 blocks within here, such as this crafter. I don't even know what this does yet. Someone's gonna have to tell me, or we're gonna have to figure it out, but you'll see that in just a moment. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I've become absolutely addicted to fireplaces. They're just, I have no words. But anyways, the best for last. It is your ultimate survival base, aka feature number 5, your survival needs. Most of them are standard. You've seen them as we toured around, but let's clarify them, starting exterior to interior, which means starting with farms. And as we now know, wheat farm in particular, because we're stranded out in the ocean. Even though there's a coast behind me with that jungle right over there, and let's say it was even a mountain biome, anything that had animals nearby, regardless, it'd be tough to transport them over. So not only does wheat farm serve as an early game, mid-game type food source, but once we play in our world, gather up some gold, we can turn it into a carrot farm. And from there, turn it into golden carrots and have a stronger mid to end game type food source. And now again, for the same reason as our wheat farm, because we're stranded in the middle of the ocean, we have our tree farm, especially depending on where you decide to build this project. Trees nearby on the coast can work, but I personally always like to have at least a 2x2 tall tree spruce build out, complete with hoppers underneath, so that, you know, we can just speed run through with an axe, build our way up in that staircase method, so that we have plenty of wood to work with, especially since spruce wood is the best wood in the game. You can't tell I love it, and easily disintegrates, gets all those saplings to fall down into our chest, replant, bone meal up. You know, it's the best wood source in the game. Well, I will say a close second favorite is oak wood, and so a simple stripped line, just like this, but with glass over top of it, 7 blocks tall. That makes it so that the trees don't grow too tall and everything is a lot easier to gather. For this ocean style survival house, those were the primary ones I wanted to have, but of course sugarcane. Gotta have our sugarcane, not just because naturally we need it for enchanting and, you know, paper for books, fireworks, but also the green of bamboo just looks beautiful. It's such a nice sharp green to have, especially against, you know, some of your darker spruce wood greens. Again, our dark wood and stones highlights nicely with the bamboo, and in general, just, you know, we love bushes and greens in our house. Industrial farms are inside. We'll see them in just a moment, but first, we can't sleep on it. The nether portal is critical, sometimes forgotten, but whether you're playing solo or on a server, the nether portal always serves as your first look or frequent entrance into your survival base, house, whatever it might be. You see it often, so it's nice to have it in place and infused into a cool spot. In our case, is the docks. Not only does it pop with that purple tone, get to frequently use and walk on our docks, and get to look at our structure all throughout. I mean, sure, let's test it out. Well, this is where that warped wood come from. But see? Ooh. Open views at the ocean. We got our base all throughout. Natural protection. Ready right on standby. There's those trap doors. And always ready to go so that we can, you know, move throughout our base, come off our adventures, hit our storage room. Anyways, let's head to the second floor. This might be one of the biggest tricks, using stairs or, you know, naturally just always wanting to hit a little trident up to our location. Second floor time. Honestly, nothing too crazy in here. The key always is the bed, our spawn point. I always have that on the second floor. Keep us safe, put it in a nice spot, have some nice views. This bed frame is a bit of a crazier design, but has a nice view. We love that. We love looking out. I like to have my closets, my armor pieces, and some more of your subtle storage as well. Big storage cabinet in this one, built out of barrels. Kind of like how this one turned out. This seems like a cool little piece of furniture. More bamboo, including green bamboo to match the theme. And then of course just access to, you know, more views. It's all about the view, especially when it's a jungle backdrop. But you know, an ocean view isn't too bad as well. And that basically sums up the second floor. Roofing is always interesting. Again, world downloads are going to be the best way. Take a look if you want to actually build this specific project. I mean, the roof goes pretty crazy. I like how it turned out. Combination of woods and then your stones, but not as fences, but walls. Glass sunlights to let everything in. Fireplaces as well. And then banners. Honestly, came together nicely. On this side next to the bed, even serving as kind of, you know, curtains that roll up and down, giving it an open floor plan for that ocean feel, that ocean vibe. And finally, first floor, where we're gonna have all our key survival needs. This floor also has a nice flow to it, just in general. You know, you have your paths all throughout, they kind of match up, running throughout different points, then intersecting across, running throughout the entire interior right here. It stays nice and condensed, but you know, not overcrowded. So I like how it turned out. And it starts with our enchanting table right here. This is a staple, naturally gotta have it. I do double chests right below for your good books and your, you know, level 1 enchantments that you're just kind of clearing them out, as well as plenty of storage just kind of across the line. Anvils and chests, you know, you get the drill. And if you end up needing more storage or just in general, bulk storage right next to it. This is where that scaffolding and bamboo looks sharp together. I like how it turned out. High ceilings above. This has your kind of warehouse feel to it. Includes 2 separate storage areas just because we always need storage. As always, as I like to do it, item frames on top so that, you know, we can plug in, label it out, just so that we know when we do our bulk storage what we got going on inside. Same applies for all the different storage areas around. Important to mention too, I kind of mentioned it with the nether portal. The location of the storage is central to the survival house. You know, if we're coming off wheat, gathering just a large bunch of it, we're always going to be right next to our storage and always can get around. But now walking further down the path, we're going to have some of my newest staples in my survival bases that I just have to have. Some mini farms, smelting, and you know, a fuel system that pair together across the hall. Smelting being that simple little redstone right here, like our items inside this chest right here get smelted, and this hopper cart spreads them all throughout. More storage right nearby, and then across the hall we got that same little lava farm that, again, if you saw the last ultimate survival house, I just learned how easy these are to build and how useful they are. I'm going to be plugging them into all my survival bases, just using that dripstone to get a little bit of, you know, lava in action. We can plug it into our smelting. It all comes together real nicely. If you didn't see that last ultimate survival house, by the way, I'll link it in a card up in the top right. It'll be on screen right now. Crafting station, another staple, always have to have it. I mean, we got crafting tables spread all throughout the build itself, but it's kind of your official crafting area right next to smelting industrial location. And again, this is where those, whatever this is this like an auto crafter? What is this? Guide me. What is this? Is it useful? I don't know, but I know this cartography table is, especially when we're looking for trials and chambers in this new 1.21, and so I'm plugging those into my crafting areas as well. Simple area right there. This switch a little bit less simple. Yeah, the reason why it's a lever is because I don't love how the beacon looks at all times. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you follow the KyleKraft channel, you know I love beacons and wither battles. But I felt like aesthetically, it kind of took away from the ocean survival house, and so we just gave it the option. Simple little lever, switches it out, brings us back to our natural design. But let's be honest, when we're playing in survival, we'll just about always have it on. But either way, you can kind of assume where that beacon is, but it's slightly hidden. You're gonna see it in a moment because we gotta go down there. But either way, first, some final fun rooms. It's the one I forgot in the last ultimate survival house. The brewing room. The room itself has some interesting colors, but I did want to distinguish it from the rest of the natural design of the house. So it's potions, it's brewery, it's witchery, it's that kind of block. This block is just on brand for brewing. Ooh, look, I'm in floating ghost head mode. Ooh. But so yes, blue nether warped wood was a play for me, with a little bit of purple accent details in there, complementing with the bamboo, all the other blocks we got going on. We got some simple redstone in here as well. They're simple redstone machines, but incredibly useful and efficient. Originally taught to me by a friend of mine, and I've used them ever since. Big shout out to Janny. This machine automatically just fills up water bottles. Bing, 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 bing. Throws them in. We're gonna get water bottles that we always need for our brewing. Just So easy. Very simple, compact design. Makes it so we actually don't even need these cauldrons and water sources, but I like them for the details. And then, you know, we could just take water bottles and plug them into our brewing stamp machine. Which, by the way, I just had to update I forgot this hopper needs a switch. So if you were paying close attention, you will have noticed. Previously, it actually just looked like this. But when we grab water bottles, plug those in, that's not gonna work for us. They fall right through. So yes, it's changed. This works a lot better. Flip that switch, drop them into the storage for us, but of course that's after actually brewing. For me, it's gonna always naturally be one of three. Either potion of fire resistance, night vision, or you know, a splash potion of weakness for villager trading. We can go ahead and plug these in, let them do their brewing, cycle on through into that awkward potion, boom, boom, boom. Redstone is locked, ready to go. Fill up more water bottles in the process. Everything just moves smoothly, and naturally we got our, you know, night vision, fire resistance, anything we need to just get them in bulk. Little fun addition with the trapdoors opening there. Completely unintentional, but now we have our potions all set up in storage, ready to go. And so that really would be just about it, but I already showed you the lever we had to switch. A beam coming from the ground, which of course has to come from, you know, somewhere. That somewhere being our beacon plugged right underneath. That's the fun thing about an ocean base. We can hide stuff underneath and just have it floating like the rest of the structure. It's all on brand, including our last but not least final room. How can you have an ocean base without, wow, look at that shipwreck, by the way, but without what's an ocean base without a conduit? Once again, hidden, but designed to look like it's floating, hidden underneath our house, underwater, hiding some of our, you know, most valuable items. Barrels all throughout, whatever you want to do. We just, of course, have to have a conduit. Minecraft is always getting more and more adventure aspects to it. Areas, explorations added in, especially in the ocean biomes. A lot of those valuable explorations, treasures, deep down ravines, shipwrecks, prior guardian temple, I mean, so much is in the ocean. And regardless if elsewhere, our boats and riptide tridents are the best way to get around. Therefore, this ultimate ocean-style survival house is a fun base to build. Boat, Trident, and travel around. If you like the house, if you want to see more, leave a like for me, or even better, just let me know in the comments. I read every single comment. They make my day, and if I'm honest, they're my motivation. You're my motivation for creating these projects. So please do, honestly, let me know if you want to see another one of these bases, if you want me to keep doing some building here in Minecraft. But anyways, that's it for this one. Oh, and by the way, I have more project ideas for ultimate survival houses, but if there's a certain style or something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments too. You know I love a challenge. You know I love building. Let's see, I mean, come on. We back at it. It's 2024. Let's enter 2025. This game just keeps getting better. Regardless, that's it for this one. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you in the next one.